Hey guys, we have another diagnostic interface to check. Today this is CG Solid SC530 for BMW vehicles. That's why we are in BMW right now. This is the box, and you can see from the icons over here that this should do a lot of things in BMW vehicles. We have some graphs, we have some trouble code readout, we have some guided procedures for adaptation and clearing of the most important things over here. So the box is already empty, and I have this carrying case over here with the device, with the OBD2 cable, and with user manual. So let's put this together, connect with this BMW X1. This is 2010, I believe, BMW X1 E84 with 2-liter diesel engine N47. And let's check what we can do with it. I have my little checklist over here with the things that I want to try over here. So we will check if we can actually do those things with this device. The device is connected and it turns on itself. There's no battery, so it's powered by the OBD2 connection. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 buttons in total, and USB port over here for updates, I believe. There's no other thing over here. There's RF indication over here, some kind of wireless communication over here, but I'm not sure what it is for because it's not mentioned in the user manual. So the navigation over here is simple. We have this 4 buttons over here. We have the yes to confirm, no to go back. We have those function buttons over here, which are described over here at the bottom of the display. So each screen might use those 3 function buttons in a different way. And over here in the main menu we have 5 options. We have general OBD2 functionality, so you can use this device with pretty much any car made in the last 20 years. We have the Let's go to the right. We have the BMW specific application over here, which we are going to use in this vehicle. We have some settings, data manager. So I believe this stores some data from the diagnostic session. And we have the update menu, which we are not going to use right now. Okay, so what's on my list? I want to, first of all, perform a general scan, check the fault codes. I want to see some live data from engine. I want to perform some output tests, maybe from the display and the instrument cluster, since those are the cool looking ones, the ones that are easy to spot when you are testing the display and the indicators over here. I want to check the guided procedures, and I want to use the generic OBD2 application over here in a different vehicle like this Fiat Punto or the Golf Mark 7 over there, something that's not a BMW. So I want to check how this works in other brands. Okay, so let's start with full diagnostic scan. Let's go to BMW, wait a couple seconds, and let's just select that this is BMW, because you can also select Mini or Rolls-Royce. Those 3 brands are in the same group. And let's use the Smart VIN checkup, so it will use the connection to check the vehicle identification number. I believe it's okay, so let's confirm it. The vehicle was discovered correctly. It's X1 with xDrive with automatic gearbox, yes, so we want to confirm it with F3. And once we are connected successfully, we can start the diagnostic scan. Since I'm waiting, let's remove this. It took about half a minute to fully load, and we have 3 options over here: diagnosis, service, and special functions. So let's start with diagnosis. Quick scan or control module. So I believe we can quickly scan the whole vehicle for fault codes, or we can select a module that we are interested in. For example, if you are troubleshooting, let's say, the gearbox, you can just select the gearbox and work in the gearbox area. But let's start with quick scan. So let's select yes, and we can see that the device is scanning the control modules in the vehicle one by one. And we have already 1 fault over here indicated. You can hear a little click inside when it goes from module to module. Can you hear it? Okay, so let's give it a minute and we will check what this will find in this vehicle. Scan is done. We can see that there's 25 modules, all are scanned, and we can see red flag over here in the DDE module. This is it diesel engine module? I'm not sure, honestly. It's not that often that I work with BMW. So let's scroll down. Let's check what's also reporting some faults. We have the driver's side footwell module also reporting a fault code. And is it? Yeah, those two, each with one fault. So we can press F1 to erase it, or we can press F3 to go to report. And this is just a nicer looking list of the things that we already saw, but I want to check the fault code over here in the DDE module. How to do it? Right now I have only option to save with F1, so let's do this. BMW, let's save it. So I believe I need to go back, exit over here, control units, yes, drive, DDE, connect with it, and now read codes, and we will know if the code is related to something important. DDE oil pressure switch plausibility. So we have fault code related to the oil pressure switch over here. We can save the code for future diagnosis, or we can view the freeze frame. And here's the full dump from the live data from the moment that the fault code appears over here. So we can check the engine parameters at the moment of the fault that it was stored in the control module. So we can check if there's something unusual over here that will guide us to the reason of this fault. And right now I'm not going to fix this fault. We are going to check it later on. And let's go back and let's do something else. There was another fault in the driver's side footwell module, so let's check over here what's wrong. Let's read the code so we have better understanding of the condition. Drive pivoting motor passenger side faulty. Oh, that's why the side mirror on the right side is not folding when I'm closing the vehicle. So the module knows that there's something wrong with it. Most likely wiring, but I will have to disassemble the mirror to check the motor if it actually works, or maybe it's the wiring. Okay, so that confirms it. So let's do something else. Now with the engine on, let's go back to DDE, and we are going to check live data. We are not clearing the fault codes over here because we want to fix the issue before clearing those codes. But right now let's check how the live data looks, how's the refresh frequency, and how's the graph looking, if it's useful or not. Fuel system, let's select fuel pressure, rail pressure actual and specified. So actual is the measured pressure from the fuel rail, and specified is the pressure that the control module wants to achieve by controlling the fuel pump. So let's press OK. We have those two values. Maybe let's go into graph. So we can press F2 to switch to graph, and we should see two lines. Multi-graph, merge graph, maybe. Yeah, we have two values right now, and those lines should go basically at the same level. Maybe not all the time. But we can see that the engine without load, of course, because we are stationary, without load, the fuel pump can achieve the specified pressure without problems. We can also go to multi-graphs, which will split those two readouts to a separate graphs on one screen. I'm not sure if you can see this. Yes, if those readouts are not related, they are now, because I've selected rail pressure for both of the graphs. But with non-related graphs, you can use multi-graphs, separate graphs to control, for example, speed and boost, or something that's not correlated directly, and just to have a better understanding of the system parameters. So maybe let's try output test. Let's go to body, let's select central information display, I believe this is the navigation display, and let's scroll down to active test. Let's go over here and we have activation test card. Let's go into this menu and we have some colors, so maybe let's select red and press F1 to activate, F2 to deactivate. So F1, and right now we can check for dead pixels on the red spectrum of the display. F2 to deactivate, so that worked great. Now let's scroll down from the display to the control module of the navigation, CIC, Car Information Computer, and over here we should have some tests as well. Active test, and over here we can select audio, output check, control gong, so we should hear it. F1. Okay, it was pretty low volume, but distance control audio signal, so let's check it as well. Okay, it's working. So now maybe let's try the instrument cluster. It's here, it's called COMBI, like combined instruments, instrument cluster. Active tests, I'm not sure if it's going to let us do it while the engine is running, but still. General self-test speed reading 100 kilometers. Okay, so let's check it, activate it, and the speedometer should set exactly at 100 kilometers. If you are disassembling the instrument cluster, this is very useful to set the needle in the correct position. And I believe we can do the same thing for all the other needles over here. So let's try maybe for the rev counter. Activate, and we have 1,500 RPMs. Okay, deactivate. And here I'm in special functions menu. We have a couple options over here, like oil reset, which is pretty simple on BMW because you can do it from the display or from the instrument cluster, but still you can reset the oil reminder over here. We have battery registration if you are replacing the car battery, brake bleed after replacing the brake fluid, diesel particulate filter regeneration. What's here? Replacement, so you can reset the odometer over here after replacing the DPF, or you can force the regeneration, request the regeneration of the installed DPF filter. We have immobilizer and keys over here. We can reset starter lock, block or enable remote key. I'm not really familiar with the immobilizer functionality over here, so I'm not going to go over here just to make sure I will not reset those keys that are working over here. We have injector learning, we have steering angle, sensor learning, throttle adaptation, window, door and roof adaptation. Yeah, initialize slide roof. Maybe let's do this. Let's initialize the sliding roof. And we have some information about how this procedure goes, and if we are sure that we want to do this, let's press F3 and this should take place over here. I believe it's moving. I'm not touching the buttons, but you can see that the sunshade over here is moving. Now the roof is moving, so it's learning the end positions over here. And I believe those settings, this calibration is needed if you want to use the single touch operation over here or remote control of the sunroof. And the sunshade is going back. That's right. And it's closed. And that's pretty much it. Now we just have the information that we should check if the sunroof is working properly. So let's press F3. Continue testing schedule, so we are done with this. And as promised, right now we are in Volkswagen Golf to check the general OBD2 protocol. So let's go over here, let's select auto scan, so it will automatically detect which diagnostic standard this vehicle is using. It's asking us if it's a Volkswagen vehicle, so let's confirm it. If it's a diesel, yeah. and we have some initial checks. We can connect with the engine control module and with the automatic transmission control module as well, because this vehicle is automatic. So maybe let's go into engine, let's check if it's trouble-free. So the first option is DTC and FFD, which is diagnostic trouble codes and freeze frame data. And what do we have over here? System pass, no faults found. So we can go back by pressing F3, and over here I want to check live data, because this is the most important part for me. How's the data refresh over here, and how's the graph looking? I believe the graph will be the same as in BMW. Let's create a custom list and let's check RPM, so we can see how it reacts to the RPM. And let's go to F2 graph. Okay, and I have to see if it's reacting properly, but I believe it looks pretty good. Data refresh is about 2 Hz, so two times per second we have a new readout from the engine, which is not that great, but still useful, better than nothing if you have to diagnose a vehicle. Okay, so that's cool. Back in the BMW, so let me show you what's in the settings section. Over here we have languages. Yes, we have Polish language. This is cool, even with Polish custom characters. So that's cool, but let's leave it in English. And we have units, so you can use metric or imperial. We have shortcuts, so you can have those 3 buttons on them in the main menu assigned to different options. We have F1 for BMW, F2 for OBD2, and you can, I believe, also install here extensions for other brands. So you can have, for example, Volvo over here under F3 and so on. And we have some tests like keypad test, display test, and about section, I believe, with the information about serial number and the firmware version of this device. Okay, to sum it up, I'm sorry that I'm not as qualified in BMW diagnostic as I should be when reviewing such powerful tool, but based on the things that I've checked and showed you here today, I have no reason to say that this device cannot do any of those things that are advertised on the box. We have successfully checked all the modules in the vehicle for faults. We've checked some live data over here. We performed some output test of 2 modules, or maybe even 3 modules. Yeah, we've used the guided function for the sunroof calibration over here, and we saw other options that are available in this device for BMW vehicles, which I have not checked over here, since, as I said, I'm not qualified enough to do those advanced things with immobilizer, for example. If I break it, I need to fix it, and today I simply am not qualified enough to fix those issues. With that said, I hope that you can forgive me for this shallow test of functionality of this device, which I believe is pretty cool. When it comes to pros and cons of this device, well, I like the thing that you can simply connect it to your computer to update the firmware over here, and you can also extend the functionality with other brands, and small things like the carrying case, which is somewhere over here. It's not that common to have a carrying case for the diagnostic computer right now, so that's another cool thing that I want to mention. Also we have a lot of advanced features over here, as I said before and as I showed you, which is very, very useful if you are into BMW diagnostics and service and maintenance. So I believe those features will be very useful to you. When it comes to cons, I don't like those buttons, to be honest. There are, well, I don't want to call them cheap, but I'm not sure if you are going to be as happy with those flat buttons, because they are very flat. If you are using gloves, for example, when diagnosing a vehicle outside in the winter and you need to wear some gloves on your fingers to prevent freezing, I'm not sure if you are going to be as happy with this flat design as right now. And also the on-screen keyboard over here, which is available, for example, to save if you want to name a log while saving it. The on-screen keyboard over here is very, very small, and it's cool that it's here available and you can name the scans, but it's not that pleasant to use it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. In the description below this video you will find a link to this device, a little bit more of technical specification, and a 10% off code if you want to get one of those devices. That's it from me today. Give me thumbs up if you like this quick review, and subscribe for future ones. See you soon.